Hello, everyone. Hello. Hello. Welcome, welcome. Sorry about the late start here. Sorry, just some random sketches. Sorry about the late start here. Been running into a bit of some tech fun stuff. And sorry for the little impromptu break between episodes. It's been a rather eventful couple of weeks. Won't get into too much detail, but I did start a new job, and so that's been which is great, and it's a great job. I'm enjoying it quite a lot, but a lot of new stuff, a lot of training, a lot of adjustments. So I just haven't really been up to it the last couple of weeks, but I'm definitely up to it now. So we're gonna get started. This week we are drawing Gambit from the X-Men. So we're gonna give that a shot. This idea, I got the idea for this from the Graybeard Studios podcast. Every Wednesday, they get online and draw based on what fans vote for. And the topic, the most recent topic was characters, either purple characters or characters that wear purple. And I ran through my brain and just thought, you know what? I want to draw Gambit. So here we go. He's not a character I've really drawn a whole lot, so I got my reference, and we'll see how he goes. Of course, I'm going to draw the 90s version, because that's the one I grew up with. So yeah, let's get to it. Well, it's going to be kind of amalgam of the 90s version plus, whatever I feel like coming up with. So let's see how it goes. We're going to draw on the 11 by 14 today, because turns out I am out of my 9 by 12s that I usually use, so that's all right. So we're going to make this one a little bit bigger, which is fine. It gives us more room to work with. So hopefully this will turn out. So let's see how it goes. Let us see how it goes. Yes. All right. How's everyone out there doing? I know we're starting to cool down a bit here outside, which frankly I don't have much of a problem with. Let's see. Let's see, Gambit. Let's get him. Maybe kind of like this. Kind of like that. He's just kind of standing there going. I picture Gambit kind of tall and lean. He's going to be looking at you kind of like, hey, what's up? What's up, Shaddy? Of course, I'm a huge fan of the old 90s X-Men cartoons, so massive fan of Gambit. The way he was always flirting with Rogue, I thought was really cool. Yeah, just seems like a guy that would be really cool to hang out with. Plus, that was my first time ever hearing a Cajun accent, so of course that was fascinating to me. Let's see, we'll have him kind of holding a couple cards like that. Kind of want the cards to be like, yeah, so he's got his two middle ring finger there and the pinky out kind of like this. And then we'll do the staff kind of like so. This hand will come here. Something along those lines. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. I'm hoping, yeah, so the goal is to go for 2 hours, as usual, and I'm hoping, if all goes well, I'll have a chance to actually color this, but we will see. We'll see here how that all turns out. I think, is this the 2H or is this the... Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I haven't drawn a ton lately after I turned in those pages to the Rippaverse for that contest, which I had a lot of fun doing, and I'm pretty proud of how those turned out. I don't know, it's funny. It was like all of a sudden I just forgot how to draw after I got those done, which is weird because like I'm quite happy with how those turned out, but it was just like, man, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. And yeah, it's funny. I found online the old videos from How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way with Stan Lee and John Buscema. You know, the book originally came out, was it late 70s, early 80s, something like that. But they released a cassette that you could buy, which is basically the book in video form, and it is Stan and John kind of going over the basics of just a bit of everything, and it's kind of cool, you know. It's like, wow, you know, a lot of the stuff that they're covering is like, you might consider it, you know, a little more basic stuff, you know, if you're, you know, if you've been drawing a while. Most of that stuff is kind of basic, but it's you know, very useful stuff. You know, get back to basics. When you find yourself getting stuck, you know, go back to what works. And yeah, because John Buscema was showing some of the stuff that he does to warm up, you know, the kind of the ball and stick figure, the, you know, the circles, and then the stick guys, you know, he's like, rah, and then he can turn that into a character and make them doing something really cool. And you're like, yeah, man, that was, yeah. And it's like, you know what, if that's good enough for John Buscema, the legend that he is, then by golly, it's good enough for me. Now this pencil here I keep quite dull because the purpose at this stage is to not do any details. The purpose is to just get overall, just kind of get an overall pose and everything. So what if I have his knee up here? And maybe he's standing on a rock or something. Could have him out in the bayou. On the bayou. Let's see, you gotta get the trench coat. A lot of trench coats from back in the day, and I'm not mad about that. I thought trench coats were pretty cool, especially after the Matrix. Like everything in the 90s was trench coats. But yeah, I gotta tell you, yeah, it was fun this past weekend. I got surprisingly hooked on a new video game. I guess it's not super new, but it was new to me. Called Dispatch. It's kind of a choose your own adventure style kind of video game. But it's kind of in the superhero kind of world and type setting. You play as a guy that dispatches superheroes for a company, for like some big company that offers superhero services for a fair monthly fee. And Yeah, I don't know. It's fun. You're given the Z team to take over, and they're all a bunch of like, you know, reformed or reforming supervillains, and they're not necessarily good at what they, you know. I mean, they're skilled at what they do, but you know, they may not necessarily be the most, you know, controllable people or reliable. And it's one of those types of games where you get to make a lot of decisions and how you handle things. And yeah, really well done game. Really well done. Okay, so kind of got this. Most of this is all black except for a couple purple stripes on the in here, and he's kind of got the big round knee pads. Staple of the 90s. Love it. And of course, he's got the hair. You gotta have the hair. Like that, face like that, face like that. He's got kind of this. Yeah, he's kind of got this kind of thing going here. Okay. That's probably good like that. So then I'll just come in with the kneaded eraser and just kind of lighten it up a bit. I know it's pretty light already, which is the goal, but this just kind of helps lighten it up even more. I'm not trying to get rid of it. I just want to make it a little bit lighter so that way, now that I'm going over it with the sharper pencil, it will not be as messy. So now, yeah, so that was a 2H I was using for those that care. And now I'm going to go to the HB. Nope, just kidding. All right, 2H. You know what? Let's go with that. 2H. This time I'm going to use the sharpened one, so the line should be a little more refined, a little easier to see. Alrighty, here we go. Let's see. You know what? Nah, let's go. Give me 1 second here, folks. 1 second. I thought I put HB in here already, but apparently I didn't. So let me swap that out real quick. There we are. There we are. Let's give it a good sharpen. There we go. Aha. All right, let's try this again. So now I got my erasers. We can just kind of go in. Still going in relatively loose, relatively light, because the goal is here. Yeah, the goal is here. I'm not worried about final lines or anything like that. The goal right now is just to, you know, get the details in. Just make sure I got everything blocked in right, and so that way when I go to ink, which will be when I do my final line work, I kind of know where everything's going. So I kind of want his eyes to be up here, his nose there, and then his mouth there. And I want him to have kind of a slightly longer kind of facial features. I think that's very fitting for Gambit. Let's see. The other thing I like about Gambit is he doesn't have pupils because his eyes are meant to be glowing red. Because for those of you that are not familiar with the Gambit character, his powers, he can, anything he touches, he can basically supercharge to the point where they're about ready to explode. And so his eyes glow red to kind of symbolize that. And his two favorite things to do that with are the playing cards and his bow staff. And he uses them to great effect. I'll give him a little bit of a smirk because he's kind of a, you know, he's pretty confident in himself, you know. He's Gambit, mon ami. Don't amaze with the Gambit. Cajun is not one of my accents I can do well. That's that I love the accent, but yeah, that's a tricky one. Let's see. So we got his neck here, and then let's say this, and then kind of comes down like a bar here. See, love it. Hey, thanks, Jess. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Glad you like it, and we're just getting started. Trying to practice my man. I gotta get better at my Cajun accent because that ain't working so well for me. There's the great episode in the 90s X-Men cartoon I love where he was flirting he was flirting hard with Rogue, and she's all like, based on 90s Gambit? Absolutely. It's mostly 90s Gambit plus whatever I come up with, basically giving me the out in case I don't give it 100% correct, but yes, it's going to be the 90s Gambit. His design hasn't really changed a whole lot, to be honest with you. You know, his hair maybe a little bit, but not a whole lot. He's kind of always has the big, you know, kind of hair that kind of curls over like that. And yeah. But yeah, anyway, there's a great bit where he was kind of flirting with Rogue, and she's all like, "You moron, you know, if you..." He's like, yeah, it's like, how about the keys? No, how about the keys, mon ami? You know, Marie, and she's all like, you kidding me? If I kiss you, you'd pass out and whatnot. And he's like, maybe it'd be worth it, no? Like, oh, Gambit, you're the best. Alrighty. So I get his musculature in there, and then it kind of comes like that. And then the suit pretty much, yeah, the chest plate pretty much just follows standard anatomy, really. Okay. So that's easy enough. And then yeah, because it was the 90s. Old school costumes. It basically just looks like they were painted on, so I'm all for that. Okay, so we got abs there. And then we gotta get the suit coat, or the trench coat. I want to make sure, yeah, because he had those big old knee pads. Gotta have the knee pads. I know Jim Lee designed him back in the 90s, and yeah, he was all about the big knee pads, the big shoulder pads. He didn't have the shoulder pads, thankfully. Well, then I guess that was kind of more of a Liefeld thing, the huge, yeah, the giant shoulder pads and all the pouches. Yeah, most of the lower body is going to be all blacked out because that's kind of how the suit is. So we'll tackle that in a minute. Okay, I just want to make sure I get the suit going. Yeah, and if all goes according to plan and works out, I'm going to see if I can try to get some colors on this once I get it all inked up and whatnot. But yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Okay, yeah, he's got his sleeves kind of all bunched up. All bunched up around his wrist. Doing that. Well, that's right, yeah. So part of his hair is going this way, and then part of his hair is going this way, because the 90s. That's right. That's right. Okay. Yeah, I found a really cool I found a great picture of the old action figure from the 90s, and that's got it down perfect. Okay. So yeah, so his hair kind of splits like right here, or kind of parts right there. And he's kind of got part of it coming down here, part of it coming down here. And then it just kind of works its way out. It kind of just fans its way out like that. Let's see. I'll refine that, don't worry. But yeah, I just want to make sure I get the general gist here. Let's see. I might have to come back to that. Okay. Is it? Okay, yeah, these kind of do this thing where they come down like that. Kind of do this thing. Because why not? Okay. Alright, so let's get the hand here. I'm going to bring that hand down a little bit lower. Maybe it was worth it, no? Yeah, the idea is I kind of want him having like a card, like kind of between his fingers here and between his forefingers. His forefinger and his, yeah, so I kind of want, you know, the two fingers here. Those are two fingers. Those are two fingers. And then he's going to have the card like that. And then I want basically the idea is he's got the card being held by both of these fingers. And he's got yeah, his index fingers kind of holding the other side of it. That's kind of what I'm after here. And then these are the fingers that are going to be black because of his glove. And then the other fingers don't. Yeah, the pinky and the index finger are not covered by the glove. So there you go. And then we'll just do the thumb like so. I'll just have the thumb kind of tucked in. I don't know, like let's see. Maybe we can kind of. Okay, so if I want the card to be here, you know, and I kind of want like that, and then the pinky can kind of come down like like that. And then we'll just make the thumb kind of out. Kind of like that, maybe. Something kind of like that, maybe, I think. Okay, and then we can... Yeah, and this will get more and more clear when I get to inks. And then we'll just make that like a spade or something. I'll have to look up how to do that, how that looks. Okay, so then we'll get this hand here. And then we'll get his coat sleeve is very loose, and then we'll have the when it comes time to ink that, I'll probably use the straight edge, but for now it's a good start. And this is kind of a little bit wonky from the camera, so hopefully that, yeah, I think that looks a little bit more accurate as far as proportions goes, so it's not nearly as warped as it looks. I say that both for my confirmation as well as for your benefit, so okay, let's see. Of course, I could always just kind of have the coat come out down here, and then I wouldn't even have to draw that leg. Aha! Look at that. Problem solving. That, and pretty much all this just gets blacked out as far as I can tell. Yeah, so all in here is black, like this whole section. And then of course he's like super jacked, that's how we roll. What I think of the most recent Gambit in the Deadpool Wolverine movie? I thought he was pretty good. Yeah, I mean, he looked great. My only nitpick about the costume is he did not have the red glowing eyes. But other than that, I thought he looked cool. Yeah, I thought he did a good job. I thought Channing Tatum did a good job with the Cajun accent. I like that they kind of kept the 90s look. Yeah, I thought he was fun. I mean, oddly enough, I mean, I'm not a big fan of the movie, but that X-Men Origins Wolverine movie where they had, was it Taylor Kitsch as Gambit? Like, I thought even that version was pretty good, as bad as that movie was. I thought he did a pretty good job with what he had to work with. But yeah, I thought Channing Tatum did a good job. Especially because, yeah, his movie got kind of stuck in, you know, production hell forever and eventually just kind of got canceled. So it is cool that, I don't know, I thought it was cool that he got a chance to actually show it off. And who knows, he might show back up with, who knows, now that Disney and Fox and all them are in one studio and they're trying to focus on X-Men stuff now. I'm not saying I'm feeling very hopeful about how they're going to treat it, but who knows? I don't even know if Channing would sign on to do a like a big franchise thing now. I'm not really sure, but who knows? Okay. I think we're pretty good there. So let's see. I want to... I might just leave all that black. Okay, so what we're going to do... I don't know, something about this hair is kind of bugging me. Let's try to get that a little better. Try to make that look a little... Because the 90s version, he's got that really slick... Of course, he's probably got a bunch of mousse in it. It was the 90s, and that's just what you did back then. It was all about that mousse. Let's see. Yeah, kind of... I don't know. I'm not really liking how that's turning out. So, you know what? Let's just do this. Let's just do this. Let's just have it split here. Sup, Rev? It's going over to Society Live. How's it going? Well, yeah, everything's going great. Thanks, man. Thanks for stopping by. It's, yeah, I won't go too detailed on stream, but yeah, I've been, I'm on my second week at my new job, and it's been great. Like I think it's going to be a great job, and I'm, really enjoying it, enjoying the people I'm working with. But yeah, it's definitely a lot to learn and a lot of that kind of stuff, which is kind of why I haven't been on the last couple of weeks, because I've just kind of had to knuckle down and just kind of absorb a lot of stuff. So, but no, it's all good. So, and I was explaining earlier, the podcast I watch normally called Graybeard Studios, they draw every week based on what fans vote on in terms of topics, and the vote was purple characters or characters that wear purple, and so Gambit was kind of a natural go-to for me. But how you been doing, man? Long time no see. Yeah, and I'm kicking myself. I haven't really had a chance to play much of the new Fortnite season, but some buddies of mine and I, we got real into Wayfinder on Steam. We've been playing that quite a bit, and yeah, it was on sale on Steam a little while ago for $5, and thought that was a worthy investment to check out. That game's actually proven to be a lot of fun. Busy trying to stay afloat recently, but it's all good. I get that, man. I get that. Yeah, we need to catch up soon sometime, man. Yeah, that'd be fun. But yeah. So how's the yeah, Rev, how's that new car treating you? Still working good? Yeah, the reality is there's a lot of detail in here I don't technically need to do at this stage, because I can just do it all in the inks, but I kind of want to try to get as much of it as I can. I don't want any guesswork. So, of course, he's got this like kind of like padding texture on his collar. It's wonderful. So happy with it. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. But yeah, so anyway, purple characters, drawn Gambit. Life is good now. Embarrassing myself with my terrible Cajun accent. Totally worth it though, no? Hey, mon cher. Go on down to the bio. So then these fingers are going to be black because of his gloves, and then a little bit cool beans. All right, I think back golly, I think we might be ready to do some inking. Let's get to it. First thing I want to do is just get that staff. I could freehand that, but I don't think that would go well, so we'll just do it the old-fashioned way here. Alrighty. So, Rev, are you still playing that Fortnite, the new Fortnite season? Yeah, like I said, I've been busy with work and stuff, so I haven't had a chance to catch you live recently, which I find unfortunate. But let's see here. Oh my god, I just got this ruler very recently. And I've never been so excited to have a ruler. Arc Raiders, yeah, dude. I heard Arc Raiders is awesome. I haven't pulled the trigger on buying it yet. But I've seen some gameplay, and that does look like a lot of fun. Yeah, like I said, my buddies, I got some buddies and we've been playing Wayfinder quite a bit. It's kind of more of a RPG kind of thing. Yeah, I admit it's a lot more fun than I expected it to be. We can play co-op and stuff with it, but yeah, when I get a couple paychecks under my belt, I might check out Arc Raiders and see how we do. I know I expect to die multiple times. That's just how it goes with those types of games. Yeah, I was talking about it earlier. I don't think anybody was really even in the audience at the time, but this past weekend I got hooked on a game called Dispatch, and yeah, it's kind of a Telltale style game. I don't know if any of you guys out there remember Telltale. They used to do a lot of those kind of choose your own adventure type games with like Wolves Among Us and Walking Dead, things like that. And this one's their own IP. It's a lot of the guys working on the game used to work for Telltale back in the day, and you can definitely tell. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. You're kind of this Iron Man type superhero guy whose suit got destroyed, and he's not rich like Tony Stark, so he ends up accepting a job with this major superhero company that basically dispatches superheroes to people that call for it and need it, kind of a thing. And so you're given control over the Z Team, which is a bunch of former supervillains who are trying to redeem themselves and reform, kind of a thing. And Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's one of those kinds of games where you make a lot of decisions in terms of, who you have on the team, how you play things. Do you believe this person? Do you believe that person? Do you, go all in and like start chewing people out and just be a real, whip cracker on them, or do you try to be a little more understanding, or anywhere in between? And the animation style is phenomenal. I don't know, it just felt like you're watching an awesome cartoon that you get to kind of control to some extent. And yeah, it was really fun. So definitely for adults, recommend that. I gotta throw that caveat. So any youngsters watching, that game's not for you. But if you're if you're not a youngster, that's easy recommend. Pretty much all this is going to be black, so I'm not too worried about getting that perfect right now. Yeah, there we go. It's probably good there's not a Gambit skin, or at least last I checked. I'm sure there probably is, but just probably wasn't on when I was last logged in. Otherwise, I definitely would have spent money on it that I don't have. Yeah, definitely one of the better Jim Lee creations, I gotta say. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try to color this depending on time. Let's see how we're doing. Oh, we're doing great. We're doing good time-wise, I think. I haven't colored anything online in a while, or I haven't colored anything traditionally in quite some time. So this could be a good fun challenge to try to make that work. Let's see. Let's go a little thinner here and get some of his costume details. But yeah, man, I've been learning so much stuff this last 2 weeks. I like that analogy of it's like when you are outdoors and you try to put too much sunscreen on your arm or something, and your body can only absorb so much. So after a while, your arms just stops absorbing it, and you just got this big mess of sunscreen on your arm that just won't go in, and it's just got this big mess. And it's like, yeah, part of me is feeling like my brain's kind of at that point right now. I'm like, oh man, it's only Tuesday. That's all right though. That's what drawing's for. It's a nice little, happy little reset. But yeah, sorry about the kind of the break that I've had. I took the last couple weeks. A lot of it's just because of burnout from the job and other things. But now that I'm getting into the swing of things, I definitely plan on keeping this going. My goal is to keep doing this every week. The thing is, my training for my current job is 6 months long, and then after that I will be moving on to a very different shift. that's going to make this show, at least in this time slot, rather difficult. So, I mean, we'll face that when it comes to it, because then I'll have a little more details and hopefully be able to make a better decision on when to do it. So I still want to do it, but I'll probably be moving the time around a little bit, and I am still working on my comics. I'm doing all that stuff. I turned in some pages for a fan art contest with the Rippaverse, which I'm really excited about. Pretty happy with how those turned out. Actually, if I can find those, I think I know where they're at. Remind me at some point, maybe I can. If you guys want to see them, let me know. I can pull them out for you. Let's see. I'm gonna come back in here with a big, thick outline anyway. So it's okay if this is not. There we go. That looks a little more hair-like. A lot of these guys come in with real thin lines in the middle, which I think is kind of cool looking. I mean, I get that balaclava. It's funny, I said baklava for a long time instead of balaclava, and it's like, no, baklava is the dessert. And a very tasty one, but I used to get made fun of for saying baklava instead of balaclava, but you know what? That's how you learn. I eventually learned, so it's okay. Let's see. Yeah, most of this is all going to get covered in black, so I'm not too worried about that. Oops, forgot to turn the phone ringer off. Sorry about that, folks. I'll tell you what, actually, I don't have the inked pages handy. I think I put them away, but I do have the pencils of my 2 pages, if that's something you're interested in. So here is page 1. Let's see if that comes in. So for this contest, I had to do a 2-page story involving at least one of their characters from the company called the Rippaverse. They have a bunch of their own characters, and I decided to pick 2 of my favorites. So the Horseman right here, he's kind of a Punisher type character, and then my other favorite is this girl named Bloodruth. She's she's kind of a blood witch, blood mage. She fights demons and stuff. She's got her 2 wonderful little ghost doggos, and so they're here at a church. He's gone around going like, "Hey, there's something going on in here," and he's like, "What's that?" And she's all like, "Hey, relax. I'm not gonna relax. Don't shoot." And then you got coming into the cathedral, and there's this like monster dude. He's going like, "Okay, there's something." And then I come here, and then you can see. So this is a monster dude I designed. I thought it turned out kind of cool. Yeah, the inks, the final inks are on my Twitter page if you want to, or X page if you want to see that. But yeah, this is the pencils. So I got him looking at this kind of monolith thing going, or not monolith. I had another name for it, but I can't. Blanking off the top of my head. Anyway, so then they come kicking in the door. He's shooting. He takes a bunch of hits. Bloodruth fires up her blood magic thing because her eyes glow. So that's how you know things are happening. The obelisk. That's the word I kept using. The obelisk starts to glow, and then he's all like, "Oh no!" And then the crazy monster starts getting sucked into the obelisk, and then the 2 of them are like, "Hey, what's going on?" And then you see his face kind of like floating inside the obelisk, kind of obscured. And yeah, so that was kind of a little 2-page story I came up with. Yeah, like I said, The final inks, I guess, have been put away, so I don't know where they're at. Otherwise, I'd be showing those to you, but you can find them on my X page at Gollum Wolf if you want to see the final product. I'm pretty happy with how they turned out. So, here we go. All right, back to Gambit. So anyway, hope you enjoyed that. I had a lot of fun working on that, so. Let's see, where is... Apparently, I have a marker decided to disappear on me, so that's exciting. Come on, come on. And of course, it's the one I was looking to use right now, so that's even better. That's all right. We'll just we'll make do. We'll make do. So I was hoping to, I want to really beef up this line, this outer line here, just to really set them off. Really punch them up from the background. I like having that kind of big, that kind of thicker outer line. Just, I don't know. It makes them, to me, it just makes them feel a bit more solid. You know what? Actually, I can also use... You know what? Yeah, let's use this guy. This guy works great for thicker outlines. Let's do that. Yes. Oh, yeah. Trying to vary that line up, so since this part's kind of going down, make that a little bit thicker. So I'm trying to make the under sides a bit thicker. And towards the light, make it a little thinner. Yeah, I think that's probably enough for the staff at least. And then these kind of brush pens are actually really nice for filling in black areas as well as kind of getting that kind of that texture of like the folds and stuff like that. Yeah, generally speaking, you want the thicker lines to be for things that are closer and things that are also away from the light, so that kind of works out. Let's see, let's kind of do that. Especially these fingers, because these fingers are all blacked out, so we'll just... She's got that glove. Leave that little line there, just kind of so people know there's a knuckle. Yeah, and I got some other markers I'll probably use for like the really big black areas. So the rest of the fingers are going to be, yeah, they're not covered because the glove he's wearing only covers the middle and the ring finger. Why? I don't know, but that's just how it is. I'm going just eat. Excuse me. Oh, hey! Found the marker I was looking for. Sweet! I'm very much an ADHD artist, in case you didn't catch on to that. Let's see. pretty sure his whole sleeve is just black. Yeah, because he's kind of got that bodysuit under the coat. I think all that's black. Outside of the purple chest plate we can see, which we'll get to. Let's see, how are we doing for time? Okay. Oh, yeah, we got an hour. We're good. We're doing good. So let me... Does Gambit have his own comic book? I know he's had... I don't know if he's ever had any, like, real long runs in his own solo title, but he's definitely had them before, like, miniseries and stuff like that in his own title before, I'm sure. I haven't really kept up with anything recently because, to be frank, most of the recent stuff hasn't been very good. But back in the day, though, I'm sure there's got to be some, like I said, miniseries and stuff like that. Most X-Men characters got some sort of miniseries or something like that. But in my opinion, the best version of Gambit is still the 90s cartoon. I mean, outside of the comics. But yeah, that 90s cartoon is just awesome. Alright, let's get that pencil off of there. Erasing, yes. It's good to do that at this earlier stage. I mean, to be honest, I probably should have just did all that and just erased right from the get-go. But again, I'm ADHD, so I just kind of go wherever I feel like it. All right. Then you realize, okay, there were a couple spots that I kind of missed with the markers, so we'll go ahead and get my proper size marker. So we'll go ahead and go with the 08. Kind of close off that. I'm probably going to crosshatch. Let's see, since I'm going to be coloring this, I probably don't really need a crosshatch too much. Let's just kind of shade the pecs a bit. And then, yeah, so then we shall come in with this bad boy. You know what? Now, let's do... Let's see here. So this guy. Yeah, okay. This will work for filling in the large black areas. So, like, his mask here is all black. Who would win in a fight, Gambit or Donatello? Ooh, that's tough. That's tough. I mean, Donatello definitely, I would say, is smarter than Gambit, so I think that could give him a bit of an edge. But I mean, when Gambit's got his full, when he's got his full power up going and he's in it, man. He's quite the beast. So that's tough. That's a tough one. I'll tell you know, I don't know. Gambit can fight a little dirty though. So I don't know. Yeah, it would be a close fight, but I'll probably have to give it to Gambit. It'd be very close. But if you're talking just no superpowers and it's just like a bow stick fight, I think Donnie would have that all day, every day. Yeah, I don't think that would be much of a fight, but... But if they just happen to like run into each other and then start fighting, like something happens, as they always do in those types of scenarios, you know, they fight and then they realize they're friends, and then they've been tricked by some other outside evil, and then they team up. If it was one of those scenarios, yeah, just out of the blue, I think Gambit's gonna take it, because like I said, he fights dirty. He's not afraid to just go, you know what? Whatever it takes to win, I'm going to do that. Yeah, the fastest way to fill this in would be to get a real brush and dip in ink, but that's really messy, so we'll just go with this route. Hopefully once I get these blacks filled in, they'll have enough time to dry by the time I get to the markers. But yeah, I know we got Thanksgiving coming up next week, which is pretty cool. Quite excited about that. Out there, okay, so the big debate for Thanksgiving. Are you a turkey or are you a ham person? What's your go-to? I mean, we're assuming both are great. We're just going to assume that. Let's just say otherwise. But what's your go-to? I'll wait till you guys answer. I don't want to influence. Turkey. All right. I do love a good I do love turkey, don't get me wrong. I gotta say though, for me, the pinnacle of Thanksgiving food, honey glazed ham. I love a good ham. Turkey's great. I love turkey as well. But I love a good honey glazed ham. Alrighty. So they don't really have the, okay, so they just kind of bump, 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 bump. Kind of like that. Oh man, his eye looks a little swollen. You know what? Let's just do that here as well. Make it like a happy accident. So then, hopefully, when his eyes, yeah, when I put in the glow for the eyes, maybe that will look more like a thing. Who knows? All right. So let's gonna go here now. If I were not intending to color this, I probably would go a lot more intense with cross hatching. Honey glazed. Oh, it's the best. I'd probably go a lot more crazy with cross hatching, just because, I don't know, I like doing that. But since I'm going to be coloring this, the color can do a lot of the work that the cross hatching would be doing, and sometimes it can actually kind of get in the way of the color. So I want to give the color a little bit of room to breathe. So I'm going to try to be a little more minimal with that. let's see what happens here. I just want to get this. Really want to make sure it looks like, hey, this sleeve is in front, or this part of the sleeve is in front. Yeah, that's not too shabby. Not too shabby, if I dare say so. I've been listening to the audiobook, that all-cast audiobook of the Harry Potter. I'm in the first book right now. There's a lot of great accents in that. So the I'm blanking on his name. I think his name is Wood, and he's the captain of the Quidditch team. And the guy voicing him has this real thick Scottish accent. And I love it. So I just keep wanting to be like, if you quit now, there's no way there's no way we could ever win. That sounds like quitter talk if I ever heard it. You know, that kind of thing. I love accents. And the guy voicing Hagrid, man, so good. Oh, good. Let's just... We'll probably just blacken a lot of that out, too. You know, that's where cross-hatching can... Whoop, whoop, whoop. Just tossing me markers everywhere, aren't I? Okay. I guess technically this is hatching, because I'm not going to cross over. I'm not crossing it, but... Yeah, it's just kind of a nice little way to simulate a little bit of a shadow. A little bit of a transition from like solid black areas. But again, this part of his mask and all that. I do a good Hagrid impression. Thank you. Thank you. You're a wizard, Harry. Ah, yes, there's the little devil. Man, if I were British and famous, maybe I could have done the audiobook. Who knows? Might have had a chance. How do you know about Fluffy? Let's see. I'm just going to black all this. Yeah. Black all this out. The great Wally Wood famously said, when in doubt, black it out. Yeah, no, I felt like such a nerd today at work because the topic of Bob Ross came up. And for those that don't know, and for the record, I did not bring it up. Someone else brought it up. And if you don't know, I am a massive Bob Ross fan. The day I discovered all of his episodes were on YouTube was a very, very good one. And yeah, and they were talking about his, perm, like, why would he do that to his hair and all that stuff? And I feel like such a nerd because I actually knew the answer. It was like, well, he was trying to save money on haircuts. And He knew he had the show going on, and so he just did a perm, because you really don't have to maintain them, and it would save him money on haircuts. And then it just kind of, yeah, he wasn't a fan of it at first, but it turned into kind of his iconic look, so he's just kind of learned to go with it and embrace it. And I'm like, oh man, I am a nerd. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm just saying. It's just acknowledging. If I wore glasses, yeah, that would have been a moment I would have done that. Actually, and like shoved them up my nose. And if anyone's wondering, the way these things work, that was a perm. Yes, that was a perm. Originally it was, yes. And then it kind of, I think it pretty much just kind of kept it a perm, yeah. Because, you know, it was the late 70s, early 80s when he started. You know, hey, perms were a thing. He mainly did it so he can save money on having to get haircuts. Yeah, the story goes, yeah, he wasn't really fond of the look originally, but you know what? It became such an iconic part of his you know, iconography. It became just very iconic, and so he decided, you know what? We're just gonna go with it. God bless him for it. Okay. Actually, tell you what, I am gonna beef up this line here. The outline of his leg, because again, I want this really coming forward. So we're just gonna really beef that up. Like so. And then this is kind of a under part, like so. And there we be. Harry Potter versus Gambit? I mean, yeah, sorry Gambit. I mean, Harry Potter's got all the magic and all that stuff. I mean, I don't think Gambit's gonna have much of a shot. I love Gambit, and he's definitely no wimp, but yeah, there's not a whole lot he can do against a full-on wizard. I mean, if it really came down to it, he'd give it his own. He'd give it a shot, but yeah, it's definitely We're assuming Harry is a full-grown adult, so Gambit's not fighting like a 10-year-old. In that case, yeah, definitely Harry would win that one. Sorry, Gambit, I love you, but you know that's how it goes. You know what? I need to look up. I feel like you'd think I'd know what an ace of spades looks like off memory, but apparently I don't. So let's do that here. Look up some reference. The ace of spades. The ace of spades. Oh yeah, I'm glad I looked because I had that all wrong in my head. Okay. Okay. So it's like like so, and then like so. There. That's a playing card. And naturally, it's the Ace of Spades, because that's the cool one. Okay. Yeah, he had the pet squirrel Peapod. I mean, he had a ton of squirrels, because they grew pretty fast, so he'd take them in as babies and raise them up, and then as soon as they were old enough, he'd turn them loose in his backyard, and they would all go live in his little tree in his backyard, and they all would show up every morning looking for breakfast anyway, right outside his back window, his back porch. And yeah, there's a few episodes you can find where he's got Peapod hanging out in his shirt pocket. As Bob would say, he was a cute little devil. Okay. I think... Yeah. Alright. I think let's see how we're doing. Oh! We're at an hour 20. We got this. Time to do some coloring. Now, I haven't done any marker coloring in a while, so this will be fun. See how this goes. And I do want to do one last check to make sure I got all the pencil off. Because if you go over the marker, that pencil, if any pencil's under it, if you go over it with marker, that pencil is staying there. Ain't a blessed thing you can do about it. Alright, so let's go ahead. Now, I did see a video recently that I thought was kind of cool, where the guy started out with his shadow tones and then went into his highlights from there. So I thought, you know what, let's give that a shot. And what better place to start than the face? So we're gonna give him a little bit of a shadow under the nose. Definitely under here, probably under like so. Definitely under the brow, probably under the eye a bit. Definitely under the fingers. I'm going to try to go for like a somewhat cell-shaded kind of look with these. Oh, whoops. Yeah, I forgot. I gotta... Almost forgot that he's got, put the black on this hand too. Let's see here. Alrighty. Yeah, we'll give that ink some time to dry. So I'll work over. I'll go back over here. I don't know. I still might want to go a little darker with that, actually. And that shadow. So let's try. You know what? Nah. Let's just go ahead. Go for it. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna definitely go back over with that darker tone. Okay. So we're definitely gonna darken that up for sure. Yeah, it just makes it look more interesting. And what's cool about these markers is you can go back over them with that lighter color and kind of blend them out a bit. Cool. So we'll come in with the fingers. There. And if I thought, you know, that blended a little too much, let's just go back in and redefine that. Let me kind of just get that back in there. A little something like that. Okay, so then his, yeah, we got that. So his hair is kind of more, kind of like a reddish brown color. Yeah, so his hair is kind of a brown color. So let's see here. So we do, okay, that's not bad. But if we do, let's say, this might be a little too dark. No, that could actually work. Okay, that could actually. Yeah, let's see what this one does. Just out of curiosity. Yeah, they're pretty close. Let's go with this one. It's a little lighter. Yeah, I don't want to go too dark because then you kind of lose the black line. So we'll keep it something like that. And then I gotta come up with I gotta find a color for his coat. So let's see. Let's start with. So I'm just kind of putting this wherever I think the shadows would hit, or I don't think the light would hit, like so. And then I'm coming in with that lighter color. You know, just curious. This probably ain't gonna work, but that's why you have test paper. Okay. Yep. Guess what? It didn't work. Ha! Called it. Okay. So then we're going to come in with this lighter color. And then just kind of work our way. Now, his hair is gonna be pretty shiny because everyone has great hair. So I'm going to leave some spots white, or at least intending to. Of course, I say that and I'm wiping them all out, but it's not the end of the world. I can always come back and put some white out later, fix that. I do want to take care of his eyes while we're dealing. Now the question is, do I do a purple? Do I do orange? Let's see. That might actually kind of work. Let's see, because there's the orange. And there's the red. You know what? Okay, this is what I'm going to do. Let's just, out of curiosity, Okay, I got an idea. Let's try. Okay, yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I kind of want them to glow a little, so we're gonna come in with the yellow. Oh, just realized I missed his ears, so we'll take care of that in a minute. And then we'll come in with the red. I'm gonna color most of that yellow up, but not all of it. I want some of it to still be there. There we go. Then the majority of his torso is going to be all purple. So this whole area here is all purple. Got a couple different purples here I can use. Let's see what these look like. So that's a really dark one. That might be a decent shadow tone. And the VU4. That's not bad. That's not bad. That is not a bad one. Let's see, what's this one? No. That's a no. This one's a little more on the blue side. So it'll be down to these two. Okay. So we'll do the shadows first. So we'll come in and like so. Yeah, I've already kind of established my light source with these hatching lines, so I'm basically going to work with that. Yeah. Yeah, I've learned with markers, you really can't overthink it or overwork it. Just kind of lay it down and move on. So we'll just kind of do it. So we'll come in. Oh, this whole thing is black too. Okay. Well, that makes that easier then. Also helps I don't use this marker, or I haven't used these colors much, so they're pretty well full. I think isn't his his boots kind of have that same kind of idea, so we'll go ahead and tie that in here. Since these are meant to be somewhat metal, metallic, I can leave, you know, some open spaces at kind of where the light's going to hit. Not too much, but there you go. Okay. So we got that taken care of. Honestly, the staff I probably could black out too. So let's see. Let's find a good... I need a good tan for the coat. So I could probably do... it's kind of like an orange... Yeah, I could probably do something like that, or something like that. Yeah, I like that. And then for the shadows, I could do, let's see what this is. I could do like a warm gray. Yeah, okay, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay. So I'm going to get some warm grays here. Yeah, there's this brand of markers I've been hearing about a while. I've been kind of wanting to check out called Olo markers. OLO. They look pretty awesome. I've heard a lot of good things about them, so... I'm kind of curious to see what all the fuss is about. So, so that'll be kind of cool to check out. This is going to be all shadow in here. Yeah, when I ordered the warm gray set, I accidentally bought the ones they don't have the brush tip. All they have is the chisel tip, and then that really tiny little pin nub kind of thing. And I mean, it works all right, but yeah, it's definitely not ideal. What I'm trying to do, but you know, you can make it work. Alrighty, actually, you know what? We're just gonna do that. I might not even add the brown to here. We'll see. Actually, that works pretty well, I think. Look at me. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. You're doing it, Peter. Oh, yeah. I keep forgetting to do the ears. Okay. You know what? Let me color the ears right now while I'm thinking about it, because I will forget again. There. All right. Crisis averted. So now we got this. This is the... Yeah, I might come back in with some of that shadow color kind of behind his head just to kind of emphasize that. Yeah, what's cool is, yeah, the saturation of this color is kind of feeding into that gray, so it's really cool because when you're looking for like shadow color, you don't generally just want the darker version of that color. You generally want darker, but you also want a bit of a they call it a hue shift, where the color kind of changes slightly, and it's usually based on the the color of the light source, or a mixture of the color of the light source or the color of the material. So I'm using this gray to kind of add a dark color to it, but then when I go over it with this brown, it's kind of giving me that automatic little bit of a hue shift. Even if it's subtle, it just makes it more interesting. And frankly, that's kind of more how real life works anyway. Real light works. So yeah, generally speaking, if you have you kind of choose if you want a cooler light or a warmer light. So cool colors being, your blues and purples, and warms being, your reds and yellows, oranges, that kind of thing. And so when you're trying to pick a shadow color, just go a little bit darker, and then go either a little more cooler or a little warmer, depending on what your light source is. So if you have a warm light source, generally speaking, you're going to want cooler shadows, and that doesn't necessarily mean, I'm going to make them blue, but you can just make it a little bit bluer than what you're currently got going. So hopefully that makes some sense. Let's see how we doing. 15 minutes? Oof. Okay. All right. You know what? In that case, I might just black out the staff and call it good. I was having a little too much fun with this. Time got away from me. Oh well. If I don't get all of it done tonight, I'll finish it up later. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to come in with a cool gray. Let's do something like this. I'm going to do these little separator parts with the cool grays, just to give it a little something extra. Just to give it a little pop, because I don't want to go straight black. It's awesome. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. That means a lot. I think I might just... Yeah, I think I'm just going to black out the staff. Let's see. You know what? We can always try out my my black Copic marker, because I hardly ever use this. So it should be pretty well full. Let's see how this works. If I hate it, I can always go back over with real ink, but I'm not hating it so far. It's actually a little bit different, which I'm not hating. Uh-oh. Uh-oh means it's a squeaking noise, which means it's running low. How is this running low? I hardly ever use this. Oh well. Should have enough to finish the staff. Oh, you know what I should do? Okay, I got an idea. I have an idea. Let's just kind of finish this off. I can do some Kirby crackles. If you're not familiar with Kirby Crackle, the legendary Jack Kirby, otherwise known as the King of Comics, he kind of invented this, well, a bunch of things for comics, but one thing that he's remembered for very fondly is he would use these dots, and he would kind of have them move in a direction in very different random kind of ways, and it gave that real... It gave a look of energy to it, which is pretty sweet, if you ask me. It's kind of a classic, so then, yeah, so then I can go over this with, like, yeah, surround it with the... I admit this is my first time really trying Kirby Crackle, and it's not as easy as it looks. Let's see. Well, it was an experiment. No, I'm not doing the RV. Let's see, how are we doing? Oh, I got 10 minutes? Okay. We can work with that. Where is my... Alright. Okay. Sorry, just breathe heavy in the microphone. Okay, let's give them just a little bit of highlight in the eyes. Kind of want to add some swirlies in here. Kind of really punch up the knuckles here. Kind of add a little bit of the neck detail, a little bit of clavicle. Give him a little bit of a highlight in the nose. Let's give it a little bit of highlight in the hair. Clean it up here. Actually, you know what? Let's do this. Let's get my... Let's go with my... Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Screw it. Let's go with this. Drawings are never done until you determine them to be so. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't anticipate the black blending out like it did. Which is dumb because, you know, they're both alcohol based, so I should have caught that. Oh well. More or less successful, I'd say. See how we doing. Okay. We still got some time. I think what I'm gonna do. That's a little too bright. Let's see. Let's just kind of do a background element here. I'm trying to figure out how best I want to do that. Okay. Yeah, and this is just nothing more than a background element. I just thought it might be kind of a cool little look. Since we got a lot of warm colors on here, I thought it'd be kind of fun to kind of pop them out here with a little more of a cool color. So, like yeah. So I thought kind of a nice light blue might work. The question is, do I have enough ink? We will find out, by golly. Big areas like this are where the chisel tip can definitely be helpful. And I've also learned with markers, the best way to do large areas is to do it in chunks. Small chunks. Kind of treat it like you're mowing the lawn. You're just kind of down there. Down there. Turn around. Go that way. That way. And so on. I'm sure this right here is super riveting to watch. Me filling in a solid color. Now, most of these darker spots will lighten up when it dries, so I'm not too worried about that. If it's really bad, then what I can do is refill the marker and do another coat, which I might end up having to do before I post it. Or I can just do that and make it look intentional. There. I don't know. Thought that looked kind of cool. Oh yeah. I almost forgot to sign it. That would not do. Art is never finished unless it is signed. So let's, let's do it right here. Cool beans. And there we are. Yeah, again, this will dry and hopefully it won't look quite as bad. What I'm probably going to do for this color is I'll refill my marker and do another coat so it won't look quite so blotchy. But yeah, so I'll do that before I post it. But anyway, let's see if we can get a little better look at his face there. I try to get his eyes glowing. Focus. So you can kind of see his face there, a little bit of a smirk. And I don't know, my attempt at Kirby Crackle with his power on, hey, it was an experiment, so it's worth a try. I might mess around with that a little bit more too, but we'll see. But anyway, yeah, so I'm all in all though quite happy with how this turned out. So thank you very much. So it looks awesome, Jeff, appreciate that. So yeah, and we're just about at time anyway, so that worked out great. So thank you everybody so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I'm gonna be definitely back next week, as long as nothing changes, and if it does, I'll let you know, but I'm planning on being here next week. Not sure who I will draw then, but we'll figure that out as we go. So yeah, so anyway, again, my name is Gollum Wolf on the YouTubes, otherwise known as Tim, and you can find me anywhere online under Gollum Wolf. That's mainly Instagram and X are the two main places I post. So if you're interested, if you want to see any more of my stuff, you can always check on there. And those are the main places I post updates for things about the stream and other things going on. My buddy Fabrizio Aiello is getting near to starting a Kickstarter for his next issue of Horace H. Hoover. Wow, I was placing that, which is a great book. Where I know he's doing a launch stream coming up soon, I think, and I definitely plan on probably making a stop on there, hopefully, and bunch of other people will be on there to kind of help launch it, so be on the lookout for that if that's something you might be interested in. It's a real fun book. I'll be promoting the heck out of it too on my socials. But anyway, thank you again so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you all next time. Thanks so much. Bye.